Hello, and welcome back to Uniting Wizards. Today I will give you a completely spoiler-free guide on how to make the most of your Hogwarts Mystery gameplay from the very start. Let's go! So first of all, if you're here, I assume you're interested in Hogwarts Mystery, and if you are, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because this is where you'll get all the latest news and updates and a lot of useful tips and tricks, completely spoiler-free. So with that out of the way, here are 10 things you need to know when playing Hogwarts Mystery. And if you're already playing the game, post below if you have any other tips and tricks that you think people should know, and if you're completely new to the game, post questions and I'll see if I can answer them. Now these tips that I'm going to mention are based on how the game has been looking for me since I downloaded the early access version of the game about a week ago. I don't think there will be any major differences to the finished product, but bear in mind that some of these tips may not be valid anymore. Most of them will be. So let's get started. Number 1, the two most important choices you make in the beginning of the game are your gender and a little later which house you're going to be in. Because those are the only two things you can't change later on. Your name and your appearance, you can change all of that throughout the game. So if you're eager to start the game, you don't have to put too much thought into name or appearance. But like I said, gender, you can change that later, and also the house you're stuck with forever, so make a good choice. Number 2, if you want to win the House Cup towards the end of the year, then don't be a troublemaker. That should go without saying, but I'm gonna mention it anyway. Be respectful to the teachers and follow the rules as much as the game will let you, and you will gain rather than lose points. That said, don't be disheartened if you do lose points, because you will lose some points. That's inevitable, but you can always work them back up again. Which leads me to number 3. A way to gain points in this game is do classes, because you gain house points at the end of each class you complete. And remember that you can do classes even if you're not required to by the game. If the game is not telling you that you have this class to go to, you can still go to any of the available classrooms and just do a class and gain some points and gain some other rewards. Number 4, when you do this, or when you do any of the classes that are required, you can often choose if you want them to be a 1-hour class, a 3-hour class, or an 8-hour class. Now this is how much time you have in real life to finish the classes. It is not how long they actually take. Now the 1-hour classes are the easiest. Generally you don't have to wait to regain any energy if you do those, at least if you go in with a full energy bar to start with. However, the 3- and 8-hour classes give you better rewards, so that's something to take into consideration. And number 5, speaking of rewards, at the end of each class or task you're able to choose one of 3 different rewards, and it's generally 1 or 2 of the attributes, which is courage, empathy, and knowledge, or you can choose gems or coins. If you don't intend to pay any real money for this game, I recommend that you choose gems as rewards as often as you can. I have never chosen coins because you get coins all the time anyway. I have way too many of them. But gems are rarer, and it's gems you use to buy more energy if you want to buy energy. If gems are not an option you can choose, or if you intend to pay for those anyway, just choose whichever attribute you feel like you need more of. Number 6. Again, classes don't take a full 1, 3, or 8 hours, but if you don't pay for gems, do not start an 8-hour class in the evening. Because it takes about 90 points of energy to get through an 8-hour class, so you need to plan accordingly. If you're about to go to bed, pick a 1-hour class or wait until morning. I would say pick a 1-hour class actually, because again, it's not your only chance to do this particular class, and the energy you lose for your 1-hour class you will regain during the night anyway. And for the record, 1-hour classes tend to take between 20 and 25 points of energy, and 3-hour classes take around 50. Number 7, which is related to this, if you pick a 3 or 8-hour class, or a class where you have to wait for your energy to replenish, then I recommend putting an alarm on or something so you remember to go back before the class is over. Because if you forget and your hour or 3 or 8 hours pass before you remember to go back into the game, you will have to start that class over again. And that's annoying. There are of course notifications built into the game that will let you know when your energy has fully restored, so make sure to activate those notifications. So an alarm is only necessary if you either don't have time to wait for your energy to fully restore, if you don't have enough time left on the class you're doing, or if you don't check your phone very often, because the notifications from the game, they're very discreet. Just wanted to add that. Let's get back to it. Number 8. Your energy replenishes with 1 point per 4 minutes. At least in this version. It used to be 5 minutes. There is a chance they will lower it, but right now it's 4 minutes. So in an hour you will have gotten back 15 energy points. That's a good thing to keep in mind when you're setting those alarms. Number 9 is a big one. Free energy. There are places in the corridors where you can go and tap, and you get 1 energy point for free. And you seem to be able to do this every 6 hours or so. So you can tap each of these places, and then wait for 6 hours and you can tap them again. Now the places are, in the East Towers, the first portrait you see, if it's blank you can tap it and you get an energy point. The West Towers, the second portrait you see, if the oranges are missing, you can tap and you get energy. The lower floor west has 2 places. To the right of the Great Hall there's a torch, and if that's not lit you can tap it and get an energy point. And also the suits of armor that's right next to that, if the middle one is not carrying a shield, you can tap it and, again, energy. In the dungeons, if you see a house elf, you can tap that and get an energy point, and then feel bad because it'll run away from you. Poor elf. And on the castle grounds, if there's a stick on the ground, you can tap that and you get energy, and as a bonus, you get to see Fang, and he is super cute. So, yeah. And then it's on the lower floor east, which you get access to in year 2, so you can't do it in the first year. But there's a pile of books on the bench. If you see that, you can tap it, and the books will order themselves into a neater pile, and you get some energy. And then we get to tip number 10. Now on the loading screen, it says that they recommend you play on Wi-Fi, and the reason for this is that the game takes a fair amount of data. So that's something you need to keep an eye on if you're playing on a limited data plan. So yeah, if you watch this far, you also get a bonus tip. When you see this circle that I'm showing on the screen right now, you're supposed to tap the screen when the moving circle is the same size as the stationary one. Now to make this a little bit easier, you can just hold your finger down on the screen, and then when the circle is the correct size, you just remove your finger, because that's when it's registered that you've tapped. I don't think it's actually meant to work this way, but it does, at least for me on my phone. So it's worth a try because it makes it a little bit easier to get it right. So that was it. You are now prepared to play this game. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and share it with your friends and family who could use a handy guide like this. And yeah, again, let me know in the comments if you have any other tips and tricks you think people should know about. If you have any questions, please post them, and what do you think of the game so far? Are you enjoying it? Because, well, I most certainly am. So with that, I will see you next week. Have fun!